Scare Glow. Scare Glow wins the opening, so... First off, are you freaking kidding me? Like, dude, I know I've said it so many times on this channel. I know. But, like, the artwork of Masters of the Universe, this is part of what you are buying. I swear by that. The artwork of Masters of the Universe is some of the greatest artwork that I have seen. I mean, it screams barbarian technofantasy. It is so perfect. It's just unbelievable. It really, truly is. Like, I've seen other toy lines. I mean, of course I have, right? But like, I mean, come on. It's not even close. And I mean, you could do this with almost anything. I mean, like, that's what you get. There's artwork for her. It's okay. I mean, it's okay. It's cool. But, like, come on. Come on. It's not even close, guys. It ultimately blows me away just how good the artwork for this line is. It really, truly blows my mind how good it is. I very much feel like I don't think there's a toy line running that can match the presentation that you get with a Masterverse figure. And I mean all of the Masterverse figures. I'm not talking about just New Eternia, because I've noticed that's a trend now where I'm seeing where people will say, I like I've actually heard this argument. I like New Eternia. I don't like Masterverse. Masterverse is New Eternia. I'm not sure why. That's like saying classics. That's like if we were saying classics right now, if we said, yeah, I like the Filmation toys. I didn't really care for classics. Well, classics is the line that finally gave you the Filmation toys, but that's still classics. This is Masterverse. But also, this is still Masterverse. It's the same toy line, the same bucks, a lot of the same design features. That's the toy line. I'm not sure why I keep hearing that argument, but it is a strange argument to me. It really is. Let's open this up. Okay, there. That is open. So, about Scare Glow. Why do I love Scare Glow so much? Aside from what he's a skull man, which is, skullmen are awesome, right? But there's so much more going on here than I think could be argued on that front. First off, this figure is sick. Like, he is so good. So let's talk about this. What is this? You know how I said you could do anything in Masters of the Universe? And I've argued that multiple times. I've said Masterverse and Masters of the Universe in general, the reason Motu blows my mind, it is the only property I can think of where you can do anything and it will work. You can make it work. This right here is Freddy Krueger. That's what he is. This is Freddy Krueger redesigned for Masterverse. He is a fear wraith. He is a demon, basically a dream eater, a wraith that feeds on fear. That's where his power comes from. That's exactly where his power comes from. He feeds on the fear of somebody else. It gives him power, and then he will use that to literally destroy you. Just like if you watch Freddy versus Jason, Freddy at the start is still rebuilding. He is a fear wraith who is invading dreams, who is pulling power to himself by the power of fear, and once you hit a certain level in that fear, he can then affect you. So, like, if you're looking at it, like, there's that really cool scene in Freddy vs. Jason where all of a sudden his shadow goes across the ground and it comes up and then his claw goes out and he stabs that kid and the kid is like, oh my god, but it doesn't kill him. And then the kid like runs off and Freddy even puts the glove to himself and says, not strong enough yet. That gives you an indication of what Freddy is. And that is what he is. In fact, in Masters of the Universe, in the new Revelation, I love Revelation. I don't care. I love Revelation. In Revelation, the thing that she is afraid of, that he wants, when they go to the underworld, and he tells her, I'll give you what you want. I'll give you what you want, but you got to give me something. And she's not He-Man. I think that's one of the reasons I love Revelation so much. She's not He-Man. Teela can't punch her way out of that situation. She says, I'll give you what you want. I'll give you what you want. He says, okay, great. He forces everybody into a nightmare scenario where he's feeding off of their fears. Simple things. Andra's kind of afraid of the undead and things like that. She's scared. And then some people are like Orko is afraid of being a failure. He is afraid that he was given the name Orko. Then he comes to Eternia and he's a joke. He's the jester. He's the butt of everyone's jokes. And while he tries so hard, he can't get it right because his magic's in flux here. So, he's afraid of being a failure. Evelyn is kind of afraid that the path she is taking will leave her alone forever. And she's probably right. She's probably right. That's why when her and Orko are sharing the dream, they go to Orko's world, where there's no memory of Orko because we never achieved anything. And there's nobody there because she is alone. And both of them are feeding off this kind of a fear, a real fear. She is afraid. Teela is afraid that she may have made the wrong choice and that she's still that scared girl. She's still that taken advantage of scared girl that you saw at the start. In episode 1, she leaves that life because she realizes everybody had been lying to her and everything like that, which is a realistic reason to do something like that. I think Revelation makes a lot of sense. It is a revelation of many different factors, and all of them pile up to reveal actual very well thought out characters that have evolved along the years. And this guy forces all of them to kind of face their fears. And boy, when Orko faces his fears, that is an amazing moment in all of Motu history. It's so good. It's so good. This cape is fantastic. It's very simple. The only thing I will say, wish it was wireframe. But this looks good, and I'm not going to ream it too hard about not being a wireframe cape for a very specific reason. At this point in the line, because this is a very early release figure, they weren't doing that. It's that simple. They weren't doing it yet. And because they weren't doing it yet, I don't think it's a problem. Would be great. This guy would be over the top. This guy would be literally one of the best figures in my entire Motu collection if he had a wireframe cape. And if he was a wireframe cape, maybe if it was a little bigger? I know I'm asking a lot, but if it was bigger, he could literally like come out and then it could flare up real big and everything like that. But I mean, this could be painted better. And I might count this against him a little bit. Because in reality, most of the weapons in Masterverse are pretty decent. Normally they have 1 or 2 paint ops on them. That's not unheard of, where the power sword or the the sword of power, the sword of he will be silver, and then at the bottom it will actually be a handle or the axe or something. Usually there is, but there are a lot of weapons like this also in Masterverse that aren't, like where an axe will just be a big metal axe, one color. So hard to say, but I feel like they could have hit at least 1 paint app on this thing. Maybe if this was maybe if this was a different color and then this was like a silver, but then it would be more like a regular weapon too. Maybe if this was done in the same plastic as his hands, that would be cool. Because the plastic on his hands are like a real dark see-through green, and that probably would have been real neat for this. Because then you could have gotten the idea that he manifests this weapon. But it's cool nonetheless. This guy, he did come with extra hands. Come on. There. He does come with extra hands. He comes with the straight hand here, his karate choppy hand. This way he can play against Batman in rock, paper, scissors and lose. He also, however, has a hand so he can throw rock so he can beat Batman's scissor hand. And he has weird pointer kind of finger, but not really. I don't know why this is weird to me. This is something that I've been noticing in a lot of these figures that I don't understand what we're doing here. Why does everybody have this kind of a pointer finger, almost like a trigger finger? Was it the idea that some of these Masters of the Universe guys were going to have guns, and so because of that you had to give him this? Is that the idea? I'm not going to say it's impossible, but I'm going to say it's not. Kind of like when they keep releasing Jedis, and Jedis have like the pew-pew hand. Why do they have that? They don't use blasters, like, so I don't tend to understand why we're doing that. This is the kind of long weapon that I want. If we're going to give him something like this, I would prefer that it go all the way down, touch the floor, and still go above his head. It needs to be a little bit bigger than he is. That's spot on. It's nearly perfect. This guy is nearly perfect. Oh, and his head, supposedly, is glow in the dark. I can't test that right now, but from what I understand, his head is glow in the dark. This guy's a masterpiece as far as I'm concerned. As far as I'm concerned, he is one of the best figures released in all of Masterverse. He absolutely passes the test. He will be an absolute fantastic figure on the shelf. And I'm very interested to see how he'll photograph alongside certain guys, like in terms of like what I can really get going. And I don't have necessarily any ideas for him yet, but I will figure something out, I'm sure.
I have spoken. Take what you will from it.